team ECWA tag team champions,
All right.
the 5-star stud Joey Ace. Joey, welcome to the show, brother. How are you?
My
Thank
man.
you guys for having me, man.
It's a
Joey.
pleasure, brother.
Wait, let me.
What's up, brother? Joey, I'm not.
How are
I'm a fan. I don't know what Howard's talking about. I mean, we may have a pending matchup, but that's business. I am a fan. You know. Now
Dude,
Cheyenne,
I'm
on the other hand, I got beef with Cheyenne, but just because it's Cheyenne, but whatever.
Right. But before we dive into things tonight, Joey, I know we've seen each other at ECWA shows, several times over the years. But I got to take the listeners back to the first really interaction you and I had was at the TWA One and Done show. You were out in the vestibule. You were signing autographs for everybody, and there was a young kid there that you were talking to, and you took the time to ask the kid's name. And he told you his name, and then you repeated that kid's name back to him every time you talked to him. You addressed him. He wasn't just a fan at that point. You were kind of making a connection with that young man, and I thought that was great, man. That I thought that's what's missing in pro. I won't say independent pro wrestling because you guys do a fantastic job with interacting with the fans, but you did a fantastic job really making a memory for that young man that night. Back in May. So, thank you for doing that because it took me back to, when I was a kid, like, man, these guys are meeting, their idols, their heroes, and whether they cheer for you, boo you or whatever, that you are their heroes. And, I believe you made that kid's night very, very special to him.
Yo, man, thank you for letting me know that. I don't want to say I do it so much that I don't remember, but I remember that night, and I remember like fans coming up to me, and I always made it a point to get the fan's name, the person's name, and just because I remember when I was young, and I would go meet wrestlers, and I remember the first wrestler to do that was Vader. Vader was like,
Wow.
"What's your name, kid?" And I'm like, "Oh, my name is Joseph," and he was like, "Man, pleasure to meet you, Joseph," and I was like, "Oh man, Vader said my name." And it's
Right.
something that stuck with me, and it was like when I eventually get like wrestle and meet people, I want to say their name. I want to make how Vader made me feel. I want to make kids feel, or
Right.
like anyone feel.
Right.
So
But yeah, and that to me, that was just great. But take us back
Hey,
to
Joey, can we just clarify though? You said you want to make people feel how Vader made you feel. You're not going to beat me up like Vader beat people up, are you?
we'll get to
I'm
that
just
in a
kidding
minute.
with you.
right. Don't get ahead of ourselves yet. But take us back to the weeks leading up to Night of Unusual Matches when you picked listen, I'll call it what it is, a very strange, very I don't want to say unfavorable pick, but the guy's the president of ECWA. What did you see in him that said this is the guy that I think can beat the reigning tag team champions or the backyarders at that time? I mean, they've been pretty dominant over the years in ECWA. Why Cheyenne Ortiz?
All right, this is a loaded question. So I didn't think of picking Cheyenne to win the championships. That wasn't on my thing. That wasn't on the agenda. It was to get him in the ring, to let him know. I wanted to have him feel all the feelings of being in a wrestling ring and being in competition, but also getting his ass kicked. Because I this is what
Hey,
I
I'm
felt.
free on the 14th of March.
So this is how I felt. He put me in a position where he didn't think I could make it. And then on top of that, he put kind of like everything on the line for me in the ECWA against LA Vin. And during that time I didn't get the job done. Right. But when things needed to happen and then somehow the stars aligned and I was back in the ECWA, it happened. Right. I became the legacy champion. And that contract was like, hey, you get a shot at any championship, right? I was stripped. That's fine. And I'm like, my goal was to capture every ECWA championship. Uh, and I'm like, okay, tag team match, but I need a partner. And I'm not so well received back there, right? So there's not a lot of guys I could pick. So I looked at him. He was there. And he didn't believe in me. So I'm like, all right, let me give this kid something to believe in and bring him along and get his ass whipped. The bonus was winning this.
I got you.
So that was my game plan.
Right. And it's funny because when the match ended, and I, for lack of better words, when I saw the shock in Cheyenne's face, it made me feel like a little kid again. Like, for all of those, guys out there, kids that say, man, I just don't think I can do this. I think what you proved that night with the right mentorship, with the right training, with the right guidance, you can do it. You have to, but you have to find that guy, that mentor, that trainer, whatever it is, that wrestler that believes in you. And that night, you had some belief, and at least him, listen, we're going to the ring. This is what we're going to do. And yeah, like you said, the cherry on the top was winning, those tag team titles. And man, I think it gave every kid in that arena that night, that packed arena, some hope that, if I'm going to do this, man, I think I can do this too. And I think you inspired, a whole generation of young children, men, boys and girls that night.
That's crazy. I didn't think too deep into it till
We go
till
deep
later.
here, man. We go real deep, and then we go off the rails. So
No, I'll tell you something. I'll tell you something crazy. I remember I said this story before. Like I always wanted to be in the ECWA, and I grew up not too like literally up the block from Cheyenne, like real life. Like he lives on Cherry Street, and I live on off of Cherry and Pike Street, which is a 5-minute walk. And I live in a housing project back then. I grew up there, right? We went to the same elementary school, and all we talked about was wrestling,
right.
right? And then I remember like maybe a few blocks down by the Williamsburg Bridge, it kind of connects into Delancey Street, and there's like Clinton Street where kind of like like it's street level. Excuse me. And there's a newsstand there. There was a newsstand there, and this is back in the day where like you had all the wrestling magazines. So you had WWF magazine, Raw magazine, The Wrestler, uh, um, Wow magazine, and Pro Wrestling Illustrated. And I would get the Pro Wrestling Illustrated magazine, and in the back would have the rankings, right, of each promotion in the like
Yep.
in the area or across the country, and like ECWA was always on it. And I remember telling him, I'm like, dude, like, no matter what, we're in the history books. So we're like the kids who grew up on this, now we're in that magazine. And look, magazines are like kind of a thing of the past. It's still around. It's still around, right? But not as they used to be.
Right.
But it's still a dope thing to kind of grab that magazine and open it up and go, oh man, this could happen.
Right.
You know, it happened a few years ago in the ECWA Super 8 2023. I didn't expect to win that. To see that was like, whoa, this is crazy. So for any kid out there who's even watching this or who watches me like in the ring or goes to ECWA in a few weeks, it's like, don't ever think you can't do it. Don't ever think you can't do it, because you can. Just with you got to have the right people around you, set a goal in your mind, and just kind of keep going. Even when you think it's not going to happen, something will happen. So, yeah.
So take me back to a young Joey Ace, growing up in the neighborhood. When did you discover pro wrestling, and when did you decide this is what I want to do? This is the career, because the career is not for everybody, but like you said, under the right training, everything, you can do it. So when did you decide this is what I want to do. I want to be a professional wrestler.
All right, I'm gonna paint the picture for you. I'm sure you guys saw the Super Bowl,
Yep.
right? The
I
Bad
saw the
Bunny.
highlights, man.
Oh, the Bad Bunny Super Bowl thing.
Yep.
You, if you watch that and you just add a TV with wrestling on it, that's how I grew up. Like my grandma, she just sat me in front of. It was actually. I'll give you two stories. The first one, how I discovered wrestling, was my mom turning it on,
Mhm.
and I believe it was Sting and Nikita Koloff in the Russian chain match, and the sound of the ring scared me. Like the sound of the canvas,
Yeah.
like them hitting the canvas, scared me,
Mhm.
and I didn't watch it for a bit after that. Like I don't really remember. Then my grandma was like, "Oh, mijo, there's I lucha libre on TV. Come." And it was probably like a Saturday night, and it was like I think AAA or CMLL, and I'm watching that, and I'm like, "Yo, what is this?" And I think I remember like vividly the next morning, I think Superstars was on, and like my mom was like, "Oh, let's watch like Superstars," and this early '90s, early '90s, and then my dad's like cousin had all these tapes, and I would just after that we would hang out, like Saturday, Sunday nights with his cousin, and I'll be in the bedroom, and this was like my WWE library, just tapes of pay-per-views, WCW Saturday Night, like everything recorded, and just like in it's just like boom, 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 like year from like I think may have been 1983 to about at that time 95. And then as the years go, he's putting more tapes.
Right.
So I'm just like rewatching, but that's how I like discovered it. And then I remember during that time too, like I'm probably like 4 or 5 years old. My mom got me like the blue Hasbro ring, and like one of her friends had all these figures, bro, and like got the figures, and I'm there, and I'm just like I'm hooked. It's all I watched. It's all I wanted to do. I even at one time turned my grandmother's bed into a makeshift wrestling ring. Like I literally took her stockings, like her leg stockings, and like wrapped them in the corner, made like a turnbuckle pad out of like a t-shirt, and that was it.
Well, you were hooked, right? That was
Yo,
it.
yo, I
That's
would put the
awesome.
tapes on the VCR, and that was it.
I got this vision of you and grandma like hooked up on one side of the stocking, like the New York stocking match, like the Russian chain match, you
Right.
know?
Dude, dude, I remember like just like wrestling with pillows, doing like a
Yeah.
superplex off the corner with a pillow.
Right. Now
Oh
was
man,
your because my grandma got me hooked on wrestling.
yeah.
Um, I spent a lot of summers with my grandparents in Levittown, PA, and
Hmm.
they were the first people that I knew that had cable, and
Hmm.
they had WWOR and WPIX out of New York, and
Hmm.
they were called. It was wrestling from Madison Square Garden. Now it's called Madison Square Garden Classics because I'm so old. But I remember her watching Ivan Putski on TV, and that was her guy, and you could not convince her that this was a real fight. Like this was, you could not, and I've said it here before, you could not use the F word around her because she would tear
Yeah.
your head off if you said that, because that's how much she believed in it. And from that time, like the production, these guys were larger than life. That's
Hmm.
what hooked me as a fan. I'm like, wow, this
Do you
is something I
remember
can
your
get
first
behind.
time? Do you remember your first time going to a wrestling match? Do you guys
Absolutely.
remember?
It was the Philadelphia Spectrum. Yep. Yep.
Hmm.
And I remember and I've told this story before. We were sitting probably, I don't know, 10 or 15 rows back on the floor, and we were about 6 or 7 seats in from the aisle where everybody came down, and Afa and Sika came down
Hmm.
and I'm like, oh my, these guys are going to eat my face off. Like they were
Yeah.
so menacing, and to me they were scary, and I'm like, this is it. Like this is this is, I mean, I didn't want to do it, but I knew enough. Like this, I want to get involved in this as much as I can, and and that was the time when at the Spectrum they would have like the intermission, and you would go get your tickets for the next show at intermission, and my dad would always go up and get 2 more tickets, and we went for probably, I don't know, 8 or 9 months in a row to the events. I saw Harley race there when Hulk Hogan first came in. Seeing Hulk Hogan on TV is one thing, but when you see him walk that aisle, I understand why Sylvester Stallone said in Rocky Man, why are they carrying him? And Mick's like, they ain't carrying him, Rock. And I'm like, because the dude's big. Like, he was enormous. And since then, I've loved the sport. I've loved everything about it. And that's what got me hooked. I'm like, yeah, I love this. I love this sport. To me, it's awesome.
Can I tell you guys what got me hooked?
Yeah,
sure.
Do tell.
It was me, right?
Hi, Joe.
It was your first Mozart Fontaine match. I know.
I'm only joking.
No.
Go for it. No, I was.
We're all out partying. I come back to the room, and I turn on TV. It was Rock versus Ivan and Nikita. And I remember my roommate walked in, and she's like, "What the heck are you watching?" I went, "Hot guys in spandex."
That's fantastic.
Yes.
That's all.
And she was, to this day, her kids will even say, like, the kids turn into her mouth, and she'll call me and go, "Hey, Cass, what hot guys in spandex don't you stand?"
Oh man.
I want to say something about Joey. Talking his name. When I go to shows, and I've never seen Joey at a show, he didn't this. Remember? Joey, remember when we were at Super Crazy?
Oh, I did. Yes. Sorry, I didn't hear that last part. You cut out.
He came out, saw us sitting there, and just gave us the biggest hug. That's what makes it great for me. When I see these guys, it doesn't matter where, at a show, at a convention, whatever, and they come over and they're like, "Kath, you're here."
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
No, I do have a Kathy story, actually, Joey. I was flying to Tulsa, Oklahoma, and I've told this story before on here. And I'm sitting in business class because I couldn't afford first class, but I'm a bigger guy, so I need a little more leg room. So I was flying business class, and as I'm boarding the airplane, I look over and I'm like about 2 rows back in first class. I'm like, that guy looks an awful lot like Tony Schiavone. I'm like, but it can't be Tony Schiavone. I'm going to Tulsa, Oklahoma. Like, what's he doing to go to Tulsa, Oklahoma? And so I sit down and I'm like, that other guy looks like Christopher Daniels. I'm like, so now I'm on my phone, right? I'm Googling like AEW, Tulsa, and they were in Oklahoma that night. I'm like, oh, there's guys from AEW on this plane. And then Jay Lethal walks in, and I felt so bad because Jay Lethal walked past first class, past business class, and I think he walked out of the airplane as far as he was walking, and he walked towards. And I'm like, I got to get my picture at least like with him, like because I love Jay Lethal. And I get off the plane and I'm waiting for him. I got my picture with Tony Schiavone, and Jay Lethal comes off the plane. I'm like, hey Jay, I'm like, big fan. You like, mind if I take a picture with you? He's like, no, man, let's take a picture. And I do the thing with the selfie to try to get us both in the picture. And right before I snap the picture, I'm like, Kathy Fitz says hi, and he got this biggest grin on his face when I mentioned her name. He's like, oh, tell Kathy I said, and I took the picture. And I'm like, wow. And that's when it hit me. And that was probably almost 2 years ago, maybe 2.5. That Kathy does know everybody. Like, there's probably not a pro wrestler out there that Kathy doesn't know, or that where they haven't heard Kathy's name before.
Kathy's a legend.
Yeah, she's right. She's a legend. Absolutely. That's why we love having her on the show. But it was great. But you mentioned, you've always been drawn back to ECWA. Why is that? What is it about ECWA that keeps you? I know why the fans keep coming back. What makes a wrestler like you always come back to ECWA?
I think it was if I could go back to the magazine, like Pro Wrestling Illustrated, just opening it up, and you saw like WCW, WWF, like, and then the Japan. But then when you looked at the American Indies, that was it.
Right.
So for me, it was like, all right, that's a spot. Like, if I could get there, I'm definitely in a magazine. And anything from there is up. So I think that and like the history, and then everyone I grew up watching came through ECWA.
Mhm.
So I kind of break it down in my head where there's like the mid '90s to the 2000s, like Chick Magnet, like your era, right? You
Hmm.
had like, I think Christian run through there,
Yeah.
Cactus Jack run through there, like all these guys kind of run through, and then 2000s, it's just like all the big indie boom, and it was like, whoa, this is crazy, and it was like all this evolution through it, and then I was like, oh man, I want to be a part of that. I think, and I think the first time I got wind of ECWA, also, I'll tell you the story, was with my father. He took us to our first wrestling match. We went together. It may have been January 3rd, 1998. Madison Square Garden. We saw Vader. That was the night we saw Vader at HMV Record Store. And then I remember having a magazine in my hand while we were in line. And it was like ECWA was in the magazine. And I'm talking to my dad about it. And we're in line, and my dad goes, because I'm like, oh, I want the WWF album. And he's like, well, if you want the album, like, you want the show or the album? Because I can only get you one.
Right.
And I was like, damn, I think I want to do the show. So he takes me to the show, and we're in 34th Street already, so we have to go to the box office. So after we met Vader, we go to the box office, and we're just hanging around 34th Street. And we're hanging around Madison Square Garden. We go to the exit, like the entrance where the guys come in. And I remember seeing like, excuse me, seeing Cactus Jack, like Mick Foley, something with Mick Foley in the magazine in ECWA, and then seeing him enter and going, oh, he's gonna be at the show tonight. And he came over and like signed a baseball cap I had. And I was like, in my head, it just clicked. I was like, this is the most amazing thing in the world. But it was like ECWA being like the bridge for me. And even
Right.
then, like feeling it. And even now, still feeling it.
Right.
So if that could sum it up for you, like all these little experiences, it's kind of been in my
Yep.
life like forever.
Right. And I got to tell you, and I'll tell you, because you were at the show, the Night of Unusual Matches. And of course, Mozart and Aiden Chambers and Sean Royal opened the show. And I thought and Joe, this is why I don't book shows, right? Because this is how much I know about booking a show. I'm like, you're bringing 3 ECWA legends out first. Like, what are you thinking? Like, to me, that just, as a fan, it just doesn't make sense. I'm like, why are they doing it? And then, the match goes on. It was a great match. And so it set the bar pretty high for the rest of you guys to try to now up the ante, if you will, for the show, because you don't ever want it to drop down from.
We wasn't topping that. I'll tell you, we wasn't going to top that because that was a match.
But the whole show did, like, emotionally, like the energy in the room never really dipped. Like they set it, and then it just built off. And I'm like, this is crazy. It's probably the most electric show that I've seen in ECWA in probably 3 years or so that I've been going. And I've seen Super 8s. I've seen all of the shows that you do. And I'm like, this show is incredible. And what it did was it made me really mark on my calendar as soon as they announced March 14th, like I marked it, I bought the tickets. I'm like, I got to go back because how do you top that? Like, how do you top what you did in November? So now I'm coming back to see, all right, now what do you got for me? Like, where are you going to go now in 2026? Like, where are you going? Which leads me to, where are you going in 2026 with these ECWA tag team champions? Like you and Cheyenne, what is your vision for 2026?
Get his ass in shape.
Well, listen. In his defense, Joey, round is a shape. So,
Oh yeah, right. No,
Hey, according to him, he can go to the tailor and get a bigger jacket. So I'll tell you what, man. When I dipped my toe back into wrestling, Joey, after a couple of years of hiatus, and I was never really inactive, but I was training, training kids and still keeping an eye on things, and kind of, I thought slowing down. I came to the show and I watched the Super. I'd seen a lot of Super 8s. I think I came on board on the second one, if I'm not mistaken. And I watched you guys get up there and and I've always been enamored by the talent of the Super 8. And that's what I told Howard when he said, "Well, where are you going to go after that night of unusual matches?" And my answer is Super 8. That's the crescendo. The crescendo. That's where you go to open the year up. That's where you go to fire the crowd up. But it's funny that the night of unusual matches, because my thought process was, okay, I'm going to open the show and I'll get changed and I'll be able to watch the rest of the show. Well, you get busy and then that doesn't happen, right?
Yeah.
So I remember thinking to myself though, because I knew the talent on the show. I know all of you guys. I've gotten to know everybody pretty well the last couple of years. And I knew that no matter what we did, it was going up from there. I was like, here we go. We're going to light them up. But now it's you kids' job to make it happen.
Mm-hmm.
I say you kids, but I'm not that old. But I look at you guys, the athleticism, the size of LA Vin, the charisma of King Reggie, your incredible in ring persona, your work. I remember telling you some of the stuff that I saw you do was top notch, as good as anything you
Thank
will
you.
see on the national stage, on the worldwide stage. That's the type of talent that's working there, and that to me is what it's always drawn. From the old days with Jim, and still get to travel with him on occasion, and watching what's going on now with Ryan and you guys. I'm fired up to be part of this. You know what I mean?
Hell yeah. Um, I always when I thought of the Super 8, I remember that was a goal of mine when I came into ECWA, and it was like, when looking back on it, it was an amazing experience when I won it. But it's crazy being in it when you don't think about the bigness of it, right? Or the history behind it. And I want, like, my advice to anyone's watching, and any of those guys that are watching that are in that Super 8, it's a big deal. I've heard down the line from other people and, like, online, where it's probably not as big as it once was. I don't believe that. I believe, like, it's gonna get bigger as time, kind of like, as the years kind of progress, that it's gonna be one of those stamps, one of those staples, that if it doesn't happen now, it's gonna happen a little bit in the future, where it's gonna be like, this is the be all and end all, like the Super Eights, that tournament. Um, and I hope, like, the guys that are in it feel that and perform like it's like that, and being, like, just kind of like on the undercard of it. I take pride, so much pride, of just being a part of the Super 8. Like, I was only in one tournament, but I think it's about 6 to 7 years, 6 to 7 Super 8 events that I've been in where I've been a champion, and I'm like, okay, like whether or not I am in the Super 8, I'm on the event, and it's like the biggest deal for me. It's my WrestleMania. That makes any sense.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. No, absolutely does. Take me through, for those guys that are in it. How do you prepare for a tournament like the Super 8? We're going to have to wrestle multiple times, to win this thing. Because I mean, one loss and you're done. I mean, you could wrestle your first match and be done for the night. But how do you train yourself to get through those 3-4 matches to get to the Super 8 and eventually win it? Because you won it. So I want to kind of get it from your perspective. What's the training like for a tournament like this?
grit, you marathon train, you go to the ring, you train with your guys, and you just put yourself through the ringer because you don't know if you're back to back matches, right?
Right.
You don't know if you're gonna win. You kind of go in there thinking, oh, let's see what's up, but you don't know till day of, and even then, when it's day of, you don't know, right?
Right. Right.
So you got to prepare kind of yourself for the unexpected. But on that side, you just got to grind yourself out. And when you do the matches and you progress through the tournament, you just go. It's how bad do you want it? You know, how
Right.
bad you want to take home that trophy, that championship? How bad do you want that picture in that magazine? How bad do you want to be amongst the winners, right? You know,
Yeah.
like you want to be in the same name as Christopher Daniels, right? You want to be in the same, like, so it's how bad you want it. You could train all you want, but it's like that's the chance where you get to put on a performance of a lifetime.
Right.
And you're center stage, you're there. So
Right. I get you. Now take me through like your pre-match ritual. Your match is up next. It's almost go time for you. It's 3 or 4 minutes before you go through the curtain. What are you doing? What are you thinking about as you're preparing to go through that curtain? And then once you break through that curtain, kind of what's going through your mind?
you really want an honest answer?
Yes.
No bullshit. Okay.
Yep.
I gotta pee.
Hmm. Every time, right?
Yup.
Me too.
Depending on if you ate something big that morning, you gotta go. Your anxiety is through the roof. You are trying to shake off the anxiety. Um, and then I'm doing a little bit like warm up stretch, go over the
Mm-hmm.
things in my head that I want to do. Right. And then right, that match kind of comes out, right? And then there's like that little hush silence where my anxiety is probably through the roof at that point. I'm sure I'm sure you felt that. You feel that. Um, then you hear the announcer, and then my music hits, and there's that burp, 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 and then it all goes away.
Hmm.
Wow.
Do you get
Yep,
hungry at the curtain? I tend to get hungry at the curtain too.
dude. I'm
Maybe
like,
that's just
if
me. I don't know.
I worry about like being thirsty.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's, and I can tell you the pre-match for that Super 8 was me just throwing water on my head and running out.
Hmm.
Yeah. There was so much like, okay, we're gonna do this, we're gonna do this. All right, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna try to do that, see if it works. Hopefully I win. And yeah,
What were you
but
thinking when you got notified that you were going to even be in the tournament? How did that hit?
I think I was home
Hmm.
when I got the news, saw it, and then closed my laptop, put my phone down, and just I wanted to sit and process it.
Yeah.
And it was holy shit, I'm in a Super 8.
Did the nerves hit right there? Or was it like
Yes.
numb?
Y-
Yeah,
I
yeah,
was like, oh man, I'm in a Super 8.
yeah.
I kept like asking myself and
Hmm.
telling myself, am I really in the Super 8? I'm in the Super 8. Am I, I'm in the Super 8.
Yeah,
I'm in the ECWA Super 8. No fucking way. No way.
yeah.
Wait, my name's gonna be in a magazine with the Super 8. Wait, I'm gonna get that picture where like everybody's
Hmm.
kind of chilling. Oh man, I'm gonna get yeah. I'm marked out.
Yeah. So we kind of glanced over it.
Mhm.
When you started out, where'd you train? How'd you get in, and were you looking? Did you have any idea at that point in time that you'd end up in
Dude,
literally one of the most prominent independent promotions in the country and in the world,
I'm
honestly?
I'm gonna tell you a super transparent story, and you're gonna be like, oh shit. So when I started out at Ace Pro Wrestling in New Jersey, and I think I
Uh-huh.
may have had like 2 or 3 sessions there. One of them was with Jay Lethal, right? Um, I don't know how it came about where I met. Well, I was with like a friend of mine, my friend Matt, and my boy. We call him Spot Face because he had like a mole on his cheek.
Hmm.
We ended up going to Long Island. Ended up and uh, this is Brian Idol's school back in the day. Earl Cooter, right? Fight the World Wrestling out in like Ronkonkoma, freaking Long Island, way out. And I live in New York City, right? So I'm like, oh, this is crazy. Trying to go out there. And I remember going out there to train. That's where I met like Angel Ortiz. It was this kid Will that I traveled with. Uh Joey Litman Lips, all these like guys from like the New York City area we went. And during that time it was like '09, 2010. And I remember having some cool matches, but not being ready. Like knowing in my heart, I'm like, oh man, I'm like bugging out. And I got Tommaso Ciampa in a match. And I'm not sure if he had already did the Super 8 or was going to do the Super 8. I don't really remember. I gotta look at timelines.
Hmm.
Um, but I remember like Brian coming up to me and going, yo, I think you could be in the Super 8 next year. I looked at him like, you out of your mind, right? Like I just broke in, you crazy. And and I got in the ring with Tommaso Ciampa. We had a match. And like the whole time I was like, yo, this man is like in the Super 8. And I was like, okay, I'm in the ring with him. It's a possibility. It could happen. Maybe not next year, but somewhere down the line.
Hmm.
But that was like my first like, oh man. And to answer both questions, like where I trained and how it led up to like that.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Where'd you meet Tommaso at? Where'd you first wrestle him?
it was Fight the World Wrestling.
At Fight the World. Okay.
Yeah, it was out in Ronkonkoma,
Yeah,
Long
I'd
Island.
done a bunch of shows with Tommaso in the early days of his ECWA tenure, long
Hmm.
before the Super 8 run. I was there when he won the Super 8, but yeah, he's a great dude. Very, very
Yeah, no, he's
talented.
dope, dude. Trying to remember if it was post knee surgery, like he
Hmm.
just came back, right? He
Okay.
shaved his head, I think, too, because he just did that WWE spot, and he had the long hair, and he
Uh-huh.
was like the lawyer. So this may have been like this was after that.
Yeah, yeah, I remember that. That's right. I can't
Yeah.
place the timeline either, but yeah, I remember the long hair and that
Hmm.
spot that he did.
But yeah, and then he won the Super 8, and it was like an insane big deal.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, it was a good. I loved the tournament because I'd always look forward every year to the guys coming in from all over the country.
Hmm.
It seemed like it was just like like a meeting of the minds of the best
Hmm.
independent talent from around the country, and I think that it still is. I think it's definitely getting getting prominence again.
Yeah.
It's not that it ever lost it, but I think independent wrestling in general was kind of on the back burner for a while. I
No,
think that
no doubt. It did
yeah.
take. It's weird because it didn't take so much of a dip. Like I'm gonna try to explain it the best way I can without sounding bad. It didn't take a dip. It it felt like other things took precedence, and there was like a little boom of like that hardcore ultra violent type of stuff, and then kind of like all these other wrestling companies were springing up at that time, and this is kind of like mid, like after the 2010s, that time period, and then it kind of like not it like it wasn't talked about as much, but still relevant till like now. The last few years is starting to pop back up. If that makes any sense, if you feel the same way.
I think so too. I think a little bit of it is that you'll get to a point on the national scene where they drain the independent talent, right? So all the guys
Hmm.
that you mentioned that we watched coming up in the Super 8 are essentially on TV and one of the companies now,
Hmm.
um, or had been in the past, and a new crop of independent guys had to come up, had to make their
Hmm.
name, had to start to innovate because that's another thing too, Joey, that I like that you're doing with your style and a lot of the younger generation are doing is they're innovating again, but they're innovating in a different way. I was and Kathy will vouch for me on this. I was coming up in a time where we were watching, the Spanish announce team, Amazing Red, Brian Excel,
Hmm.
Jose and Joel, doing the moves that most people see on TV today, long before these guys were maybe even in, some of these guys were even in wrestling. I think we're
Dude,
getting
yeah.
back to where guys like you are innovating again, whether it be a specific move or just a mindset and just a solid, like a solid match. I think we're getting back to innovation, and it's not just about the moves, it's about the storytelling, the persona you're putting across, the camaraderie in the ring with people, how well you work with people. I think
Hmm.
that's coming back again. Essentially, the independent scene is replenishing itself with the talent
Hmm.
that was kind of pulled away in the early
You
2000s
know,
and, yeah, 2010s. I mean, I don't know if I'm right on about that, but that's kind of what
nah,
I'm seeing.
no, Mozart, I think you may have hit that, and Morgan, I don't know if you agree with it. Also, like from just watching it from a fan standpoint, uh, it the the indies always change,
Hmm.
right? And ECWA, to credit to ECWA, where it's changed with the times. That time was before my time, where Amazing Red, the SAT, all these guys, crazy innovative. And that style got taken to like another level. Now it's on national TV, it's worldwide. When you took that from the indies a little bit, it it kind of became more grassroots,
Yep.
where like people had to get used to the characters,
Yeah.
and then they started to, and then that got taken. So there was two types of styles that got taken. I
Yeah.
feel like this time, this time period is like a third style of that, and it's growing back up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Time time will tell.
We've said on this show before that and I mean, I'll speak for me. I won't speak for Mozart. That I believe
Mhm.
the independent scene now, with its growth and growing in popularity, I believe is going to be what rejuvenates or makes a resurgence in pro wrestling
Mhm.
worldwide. I think it's going to start back at the indies again, and I think you're going to start seeing more people coming to indie shows. For a lot of reasons. One, it's very, very affordable. Like I have front row tickets for the Super 8, and it cost me literally $30 a ticket, $30 and some change for ticket. Where can
Mhm.
you go? Name me another sport where you can sit courtside, first baseline, 50-yard line for $30 and get quality entertainment for 2 hours, 15 minutes. Nowhere.
I'm gonna tell you something funny. The fact that you just said that sprung a little light bulb. So I just came back from Europe. I did a match with Elevation Wrestling, excuse me, with Joseph Connors out there in Colville, England. They had two shows. They had Saturday and Sunday. I was on a Sunday one. They sold out both of those shows. These are like this is a little town outside of London, about an hour and a half out on the train. Sold out two shows. There's all these little feds there that are selling out their events. WWE comes in there maybe twice, 3 times a year. They do a little tour kind of and dip out. WWE is not running any live events. It's rare, right? It's like
Right.
maybe a road to WrestleMania type deal or road to the Royal Rumble, and you get a couple of shows here and there in some big city markets. There's nothing for the little guys,
Yeah.
right?
Right.
With that, if you noticed, I know over there it's storyline driven.
Yeah.
I was thinking in my head, like they're gonna a lot of wrestling, right? A lot of holds, World of Sport type deal.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That's like back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's like story. Why are you doing this? You want the
Yeah.
championship. Da, 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 da. I think now the US independents have that opportunity.
hmm
Guys have that opportunity now to grab someone's attention and get them to buy a ticket to these regional shows. I think more than ever, like we have that opportunity with social media, with everything that we got. We could blow this up,
Absolutely.
and yeah. But that's the
And I think
change.
that's where the independents differ, where you go to a WWE show, you're going to see, and I'll say me as a fan, and I'm speaking globally, I'm going to see a Roman Reigns, I'm going to see a Brock Lesnar. I really don't care who else is on the card. I'm going to see that one
Mhm.
particular wrestler that I happen to like. I think with ECWA, I'm going to see ECWA, not just, and this, everybody's got their favorite wrestler. They come see Joey, they come see Mozart. Not sure how many are coming to see Cheyenne. That's debatable. They're coming to see LA Vin. They're coming to see
Hey
King
man, he's my
Reggie.
tag partner.
Listen, I didn't pick him in. That's your fault. I'm sorry.
But by default, he's got fans because he's in your corner. So.
Right. But they're coming to
look.
see the entire show. Like they're coming to see the entire show because of all of the personas that are there. They're coming to see everybody. And again, everybody has their favorite, but at the independent level, they're coming to see the show in its entirety. And you've seen it. They stay long past when the show's over, and you're almost kicking them out as you're breaking the ring down and trying to clean up. And most of the fans are helping you clean up. You don't get that anywhere else.
That's something special.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And in Morganville, and Bob Evans taught us that, not taught us, but he dropped a little nugget of information on us on March 5th or March 14th, 2026. There's no hotter show in Morganville than the Super 8 tournament. I don't care what band is playing. I don't care who's doing what in Morganville. The hottest ticket in Morganville on March 14th is the Super 8 tournament, hands down.
I think that's important, though, Joey, anywhere that you go. And I was kind of curious with your European trip because I caught wind of that, through social media, but I didn't really, I didn't know any details on it. But what are there similarities to the European scene in terms of, because, we had a great conversation with Bob, and Bob's point was when you promote your show, you can make it the spectacle. That's what Jim Kettner would teach all of us. It is a spectacle from the entrances to the production of your show to the promotion of the show. Doesn't, like Howard said, doesn't matter what band's coming, what movie's playing, because everybody's your competition, not just the other promotion,
Hmm.
a couple of miles away. Did you see any similarities in the UK like that? And kind of, I'm curious about the differences and then the similarities, if we can just sum it up like that between the two scenes.
All right. I can't speak for everyone. Um,
Hmm.
I felt it's more tight knit. um,
In
I'm
Europe, you mean? And you're
yeah,
okay.
it's more tight knit.
Hmm.
There's a lot less wrestling, like a lot less shows
Okay.
here in the US, like Northeast, like let's say I like saying the Northeast corridor. There's a
Yeah,
lot of like shows,
there's a lot. Yeah.
which is great, right? Um there's a it feels like there's a lot of shows in different city in different towns, but they're not in competition with each other.
Okay.
But they're all selling out. And what I'm thinking is that everyone's putting in the work.
Hmm.
And there's different crops of guys in different spots. And they're kind of in that spot. Maybe there's one or two that are running around, but it felt very tight knit, um, very structured, very just very business oriented. Get to the point, get to the show, do what you got to do, and kind of leave. I believe they should be on TV from a
Okay.
production standpoint and the way they structured everything and how many shows they do. Um, it felt like a traveling, like they kind of do weekly shows. That's a big thing. That's a big difference. So a lot of these feds are doing weekly shows or bi-weekly shows or like a weekend where they do the double shots. Um, so there's like probably it feels like also when I was like asking around different crews.
Hmm.
So they'll use this crop of talent for like a Saturday show and then the other crop of talent for the Sunday show. And sometimes they kind of cross.
Okay.
But the rosters are bigger, but they use different guys for different things. Um
Do you think that
the sh-
benefits them a little bit more than it does us here? Because I think one of the things, and I don't know about now so much, but when I was on the scene heavier, because
Mhm,
right now I only work for ECWA, and pretty much always did, branched
mhm,
out here or there based on, recommendations. But, we see a lot of shows here that are basically the same exact roster. Is
mhm.
that a big difference there compared to
Yeah,
here? You think that benefits them?
I think it does benefit them. Because
Okay.
let's say if me and you have a match at ECWA,
Hmm.
and then we go next week and have a match in the same area, we already saw that,
Yeah, exactly.
right? We go to New York City, it's like, it's kind of close. We saw that already. So you kind of wear out your welcome, and fans are like, oh, I saw you there, I saw you here.
Yeah.
So I think it's better for guys to, hey, wrestle. If you're wrestling in London, all right, cool. The next spot maybe you do next week, Manchester, then take a week off, and then do Cardiff, Wales, and then take another week off, and then you're back in London. So being in different spots, I think helps you
Hmm.
because the new fans see you, right? And maybe doing
Yeah.
somewhat different things or wearing a different outfit,
Yeah.
because then you don't get tired of the same, you're not watching the same person doing the same moves over and over.
Yeah.
Yeah. And guys over there do, I don't know, I think it's across the board, but I saw it more over there where
Hmm.
guys do more promos,
Really?
more
That's
promos
interesting.
over there. Yeah.
Live
More
promos,
promos,
or are they, or is it stuff that they'll promote through social
both,
media? Okay.
both. Yeah. So like promos on camera for social media, promos over there.
Okay.
There's more of it. Um, with some guys, you know,
Cool.
uh, and more of like for the match, for the show, for what they're doing. I think here it's kind of like that. but it's
Yeah.
more of me. Oh, look what I did,
Right.
not versus who I beat, what I'm going for, what I'm gonna do next.
Yeah.
Right?
To
It's
get
not
this story and
episodic.
your
It's
promotion
yeah.
over.
It's just for viral clicks, right? To see
Okay.
if I could hit the. There was less of that over here. There's more of
Interesting.
I fought this person. I'm gonna do this next. I'm gonna do that. Da 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 da.
Right.
Rather than over here, that was the big. That was the biggest
That's
difference for me.
interesting. That's the only way
Yeah.
I know how to do a promo, and I feel kind of. I'm not obviously. You got
Mhm,
Howard and Kath now, and Joe. We've gotten to know each other. I'm not. I don't lack confidence, but I'm definitely not. The only way I know how to do a promo is to get
mhm.
everything over.
Yeah.
I'm not comfortable putting that, hey, me, I did this, because what have I done? I've entertained some people, right? At the end of the
Mhm,
day, we've entertained some, which is a big deal. But I think if you look at it realistically,
mhm.
it's about getting the next guy over.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
about getting
and
the promotion over. It's putting people
yeah,
in those seats as a business.
Right.
And I
yeah.
think that that's what makes us special as an art form, as a sport. It's one of the few in the world where we get a chance to do that.
I'll tell you this. Um, I used to think, I used to feel, and I got consumed by it, where I
Hmm.
needed to get signed, I need to get noticed, I need to do something.
Yeah.
Um, Over that time, I'm like, all right, this isn't doing me any good. Let me just focus on where I'm at. Because I went back to my why.
Hmm.
Like Morgan, you said in the beginning of this, you asked the kid what was his name. I said the kid's name, and
Hmm.
I'm trying to create thing. When you think about yourself so much, you don't get to do that. You don't do that, right? So I'm still in professional wrestling.
Yeah.
I'm still there's a ring, there's ropes, there's fans. They came to buy a ticket to
Sure.
see you to forget about their problems,
Yep.
right? If I'm just like me, I need to be there. What happens when you get there? Think the grass is greener on that side? Maybe, maybe not,
Right.
right? We don't know. Oh, the money's better, maybe, but we don't know,
That
Right.
is an
right?
excellent point. I love
Yep.
that.
Now, how are the fans? And you said you went to England. How are the fans just into it as we are here in the United States? As far as like their, I don't say rowdiness like it's a bad thing, but their energy and all of that. Is it about the same level over in Europe and where you've traveled, or are they more subdued? Because I've watched some like New Japan shows and stuff, and they're a little more reserved than we are.
Yeah,
How is it in
I
Europe with the fan interaction?
I think Japan is the culture, like New Japan, just the people in general.
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah.
but no, out in Europe, they were like, we came to see wrestling. Like, let's go. Like, take us on a ride. Um, yeah, like I feel a lot of people, a lot of fans maybe get like, with you see the same things all the time here in the
Right.
States,
Hmm.
especially where we're from, Northeast. So it's like, okay, we're sitting on our hands, maybe, like waiting for something crazy to happen. Um, but no, but they were more like super like into it, wanted to take pictures, wanted to like, wanted to feel and be recognized and be noticed. So I think like for me, that's what I felt there. And I'm like, ah, this is why I love coming here.
Hmm.
Right.
That feeling. Um, so yeah, that's probably one of the biggest things uh, was that part. And I think we're missing that a little bit here.
Yeah.
I
No,
see.
Like
absolutely. Yeah.
like you can't tell anyone what to do, right?
Right.
But if you wanna if anyone that's watching this is like, all right, I want to get into wrestling. Well, I am in wrestling. Think about what you're doing currently to just be better, not to just be better, just to try to get signed. Like that's just a byproduct of what you're doing,
Yeah.
right?
Mm.
If like you get enough people to like, oh man, and there's this talent and there's a bunch of variables also in that. But think about what you're doing now, and then the lives that you get to touch now, rather than trying to think so much out of ahead.
I think that's an excellent point because part of what we do as independent wrestlers and promotions here is there's usually a pretty close tie to the community. So if you're
Mhm.
doing something for the people and you're giving them a reason to come out and be entertained, but you're also giving back,
Mhm.
we've obviously, as a group, ECWA has given back to the dugout for
Mhm.
being there for quite a while now. They're on
Mhm.
a run there. The other buildings that we've ran over the years, churches, firehouse. I was just talking to Jim about this like a month ago. Virtually every type of building that we could have run when he was running here out of Delaware, he did. And it
Yeah,
always gave back to the community. So you're doing something for the people and you're making that special connection, which is cool. It just a light bulb went off in my head while you were talking. I love your in-ring persona. I find it believable. I don't know quite how to define it and put it into, a neat little box. How would you describe to a new fan or anybody that might be watching what Joey Ace is and kind of how did you come up with your in-ring persona?
dude, I'm gonna tell you right now, I got goosebumps because I really wish I can define it, and I can't
Hmm. That's okay.
quite put my thing on it. But what I could tell you with is that it's the kid version of me that got into wrestling. That's like, oh man, I'm in a ring, but with I want to be champion and I want to make a difference
Yeah.
and I want to be remembered and I want to be talked about. But that comes out in a crazy aggressive art form of a fight and
Hmm.
fighting for it. That's it. You just fight for it. It's like this New York City grit that's like,
Yeah.
and it doesn't stop coming, right? It just keeps going. And that's what I could kind of define it as, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, it does.
It's a super technical style with a ruggedness to it. Like you just beautiful super kick. You come off the top rope like a feather, and at the same time, there's a ruggedness to it. Were you aggressive as a kid? Were you getting into fights on the playground?
Nah, I wasn't.
No.
I was fake wrestling with the kids, with my
Beautiful.
friends,
That's
or playing
awesome.
tag or playing manhunt. Oh,
Hmm.
yeah.
Yeah. But the physical aggressiveness, though, I think is even when you're playing with your friends, if you're still out and about and you're wrestling and you're roughhousing, you still get you still know what it's like to skin a knee, bust up an elbow, bruise a rib. So I see that when I see you wrestle, that like there's this tenacity, but I love the technical piece too. Like I'm dying to get into the ring, like
Dude.
I'm running from JD Luscious. I'm just gonna, I'm gonna make a law deal with him, but you know, but
Now, Morgan said this earlier that his grandma loved, like, wait, well, who was
hmm
her favorite again?
Ivan Putski.
So she loved Ivan Putski, right?
Yep.
hmm
For me, growing up, my mom loved Bret the Hitman Hart.
Oh, so you were
I,
watching that execution.
Yeah,
I,
and like
Wow.
that's where that technical comes from. It's just like
Yep.
watching Bret the Hitman Hart matches over and over and over again.
Yeah.
right.
So,
And I was going to say that when you were talking about,
excuse me.
how do you define yourself? And I thought, because I've always said, as a fan, pro wrestling's got to really do two things for a fan. One, it's very simple. One, it's got to look real. Two, it's got to make sense. And when
Mhm.
I see you, like I see a guy that can technically wrestle like Bret Hart did, like, and I'm thinking that's who he reminds me of on the technical side. He's got it, and I believe that. But then there's that ruggedness, that toughness. Like he can mix it up if he's got to. Like if this match goes south and it's no longer technical, and the old cliches that they've thrown the rules out the window. You can mix it up too, and I can believe that, and that's something I can get behind because you're making me believe that, and that's what I want from, you know, all of the wrestlers that I watch. I want to believe, whether I like you or not. I want to be able to believe in you, in your persona, and I think that's what I get a lot of at ECW. I believe all them guys. Like, I get it.
I have a thing about that I didn't mention. Like, yeah, I want to, like, the kid in me is like, I want to do this and this and this to make all of that. Me now is with a thought process of, yeah, we pulled the curtain back, right? Everybody knows it's a work, right? But if I can make you believe for the time that you're sitting there, wait a minute, you forget where you're at for a bit. That part. I try my best. That's my goal,
Hmm.
is to try, okay, I gotta make these people believe that this is an actual contest and that believe in me. I believe in the other guy, that we're fighting for something.
Right.
Like, there's a bit. There's And I don't want it surface level. I
Hmm.
don't want you to go afterwards, I want you to go, wait a minute. If like you bring in your kid and then you go to your wife and go, did he just freaking kick out of that?
Yeah.
Or like,
Mm,
or he didn't, like, I thought he was gonna, yo,
right.
that
Yeah.
part.
Hmm.
Right. And that's what
Yeah.
I love. And like I said, that's what I love about ECWA is, like, you know, I believe it. And like after, like, when I talk to a lot of the guys after the show, I'm like, man, like, are you all right? Like, because,
Mhm.
you know, man, you sure you're okay? Because it looked like you got your clock clean. Like, and because I was so involved in, like you said, when I go on March, 14th to the Jersey dugout in Morganville, New Jersey for Super 8, I want to suspend my disbelief for 2 hours, 2.5 hours, and forget that there's nothing else outside but these four walls and that ring that's in there, and all of that talent that is really performing for my entertainment. That's all.
Mhm.
That's all I want to focus on, and that's all I want to believe in for that 2.5 hours. Just like you watch a movie, just like you watch a TV show. We're suspending our disbelief, and I want to buy into it and come away with, okay, I got my money's worth. I'm satisfied, and I don't think I've ever walked away from ECWA show thinking, it was okay. Like, I thought, wow, that was pretty damn good. Like, and it always left me.
Mhm.
I can't wait to come back.
I'll tell you something. One, thank you for that. Two, it was a seminar I did years ago with Al Snow. Al Snow comes up on the ring. We're all sitting there thinking we're gonna do some matches. No matches. He goes, what would get me to get out of my comfortable couch with my bathroom right there, the food I've already paid for? What would get me? Are you the wrestlers that are gonna get me to get out of this, to drive, spend gas money, ticket, be in an uncomfortable seat, wait in line for a bathroom, eat crappy food that's gonna make me sick to come see you?
That's a good
Wh-
question. Yeah.
What's gonna do that?
Hmm.
I remember think like he changed my whole career with that, because I was like, okay, he put my effort in the gym, my promos, and my style of wrestling.
Yeah.
Because I was like, I have to make you believe. Now we'll go back to that kid in me. I believed Bret the Hitman Hart got his ass whipped all the time.
Yeah.
But once he slapped on that sharpshooter, that was it. He was
That was
winning.
over. Yep.
I want to make people feel like that.
Yeah.
You come to ECWA, we have a job to make you forget, no matter what we're going through, for those couple of hours or for the 10, 15 minutes that you see me,
Hmm.
you have to forget all your issues, every problem you have, money, wife, your husband, whatever you're going through. If you're depressed or not, whatever, like feel, oh man, I just forgot like everything in my life. Like this match is great. This event is amazing. Like that's it. That's the goal.
Right. No, absolutely. And I agree. Like you said, what's going to make me, like you said, spend my money. Um, and I drive probably hour and 15 minutes, hour and 20 minutes to Morganville to go up there, gas, my ticket, the toll money that I pay, concessions.
Mhm.
I usually buy everything but a bottle of water because I can never seem to get a bottle of water when I'm at
No.
ECWA.
Yeah, here he goes,
But I'm just
Kathy.
saying, that was a shot at Kathy, by the way.
Always.
And then not only that, drive, gas home, the tolls home,
Mhm.
to get home. And like I said, I've never not been satisfied. Like I've always been like, yeah, I'm coming back. I'm willing to spend that time, the money, all of that to come to another show because of you guys, because of the quality of show you put on, and allowing me to suspend my disbelief and be like, yep, that this is a show that I want to commit to and come to no matter where they are, and and support it, because that it's something that I get behind. And I think Ryan is doing a fantastic job with the promotion, with the shows that he's put together, and literally picking up that ECWA legacy, and kind of running with it. And I think he's doing Jim Kettner very, very proud at this point.
Um, I'm gonna say a couple things about Ryan. Uh, I gotta give it up to Ryan. Um, when I got to ECWA, I was with Mike Tartaglia, and he just made matches, you know. Um, and there was a lot of us like, what are we gonna do? How do we do it? How do we go from A to B? And how do we tell that story? And there was a lot of it. Most of it was on us. Um, and when Ryan came along, he kind of let us do our thing for like those first couple shows. But then it was like when you sit down with him, I sat down with him and I'm like, and I'm always trying to sit down with him. Hey, what do you need? What do you want? Where do you want this to go? And he gave guidelines and like
Hmm.
this here point from point A to point B and kind of go through it and kind of direct it. And it's changed so much. And it's just so different and it evolved. And it's like Ryan's taking it to another level and then another level and another level. And through the incarnations of we could like, Jim Kettner and Mike and then now Ryan, it's like this is crazy. This is
Hmm.
awesome. Like ECWA Legacy Championship and ECW Arena,
Yeah.
that's epic,
Yeah,
you
Yeah,
know.
pretty
and
cool.
even at that TNA, the TWA one and done show, I thought,
Mhm.
you know, you guys that represented ECWA did a phenomenal job, representing your brand on that particular night in an arena that was known, like you said, for that ultra violence, for that,
Mhm.
you know, and the history of that building. I think you guys did ECWA proud that night, and it was a fantastic show. A large part to do because you guys were there, and I'm not just saying that because you're here, but
No,
because I believe that.
thank you. There was also it was not only that one, but the premiere show, Wrestling Showcase.
Hmm.
It was me and Rockwell, and the Backyarders were involved in that. That was like
Yeah,
another one. I was like, oh man, this is no championships, just ECWA guys
yeah.
duking it
Right.
out. You know, um, with a bunch of other promotions going at it, and it I gotta give it up to Rylan. I gotta like thank him like out and open because he's giving me opportunities, and hopefully like down the line, like March 14th is a big one, and I don't take being on a show for granted, and then being on a Super 8, so it's gonna be epic. Mozart, lace up them boots, brother.
I'm lacing them up tight, man. I haven't teamed up. I haven't been in an official match. I don't think I've tagged with Uwala in. I mean, I'm safely going to say probably 20 years.
Yeah.
I have not been in the ring with you, Cheyenne. I have not been in the ring with Vin or Luscious. Have been in the ring with the Backyarders. The Magnets and the Backyarders have a little bit of history, but that's new. That's recent history.
I need to interrupt because we have a very, very special guest that
Do we have a
just
run-in?
joined us. We have another run in Mozart, and it is the other half of the reigning defending ECWA tag team champions, the ECWA president, Mr. Cheyenne Ortiz.
Welcome.
Cheyenne, welcome to the show, brother. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing pretty good. I'm doing pretty good. Thank you, gentlemen, for having me. I just finished a rigorous workout. So while Mozart might be sleeping and slouching, thinking that he's gonna have to carry some pudgy short king through a match, I'm getting my shit in. All right. I'm just saying it now. All right. This is it. When I get you one of these, that means leave me the hell out of it. All right.
I thought we were going to lock up and start doing some catch Ken in there. I was getting my gotch toe holds down.
Can I tell you if I chain with anybody, it's going to be you.
Let's do it. Let's do it, man.
We really should just do a Guerrero Benoit sequence and then not do shit else after that.
Oh man, I'd like to tell you I could, but I'm just
Yo,
kidding.
we got the
I'm pretty good
opening spot.
I'm pretty good at chain wrestling. Let's do it.
Now
Let's
we got
do
the
it.
opening spot. That's
Yeah.
There
There
you
you
go.
We should
There you go.
just do like average chain wrestling fast.
Yeah, there you go.
if we just do it fast, it'll be okay.
Joey, you see him setting the bar low for himself. Let's do some average chain wrestling, but let's
Yeah.
do it
Let's
really
see
fast.
though. Let's see if he gets that armor and it goes into the headlock. If he doesn't blow up.
Oh, man.
No, I will probably. You won't get me to blow up for the chain wrestling, but by bump 3, I'll be sucking wind.
Don't shoot him off the ropes. Shoot him from center.
No.
From center.
Shoot me from center.
Yeah, we don't.
I hit the ropes and I got no dial.
Listen, us veterans don't work. We don't walk to the rope. We work to shoot from the
Yeah.
center, man.
I
Boom.
got no dial.
There you go.
And I know that I'm gonna be in there with Ooh La Las, and we have to smack each other just because we talk shit online. So
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, he's
Well,
heavy-handed, dog.
Well,
Oh,
you know,
yeah.
you gotta come from one side. He's not gonna see you from the bad
Right.
side.
I tried
He's blind on one side, so
not to do that. I try not to do that.
it's a tactical advantage, man. It's a tactical advantage, is what it is.
Yeah.
I'm worried about that dastardly Clutch Rockwell possibly being ringside. That's what I'm worried about.
Yeah, I would say. Well, you just heard you were backstage. I got a little history with the Backyarders, so that should be
know.
fun.
I know I
Yeah.
caught that, and
Mhm.
the real wild card of it all. Let's just I mean, there might be some contractual bonuses if everybody
Really?
attacks Vin and JD. I'm just saying.
I'm on board. Well, I mean, I don't think Vin's too happy with the court anyway. We worked him over through the table,
Yeah,
so.
I heard about that. I think I think there might be an issue there for you guys.
Yeah, I mean, listen. I'm just looking forward to the chain wrestling. I
Yes.
might not even. Joey. I'm not even going to break out an eye rake or a hair pull until he takes advantage of me. You
Oh
know?
man.
After I kick out at 1, then you got to rake my eye.
Well, you can only kick out at 1 if I do a Canadian destroyer off the top of the building. Then you
Yeah,
can,
that's true.
don't even let me pin you. I mean, why?
Right. Yeah. Just pop right back up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
jump back
Cheyenne's
up.
gonna do the Canadian.
Yeah,
I can't. I tried it. That was not. I tried it, and I cannot do it.
He's gonna do a code red.
Can I tell you I haven't tried that. They're just, I mean, you guys know this, and Joey, Joey, we talk too damn much, but like, there's just things people can't do athletically.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I have a beautiful, and I mean a stunning drop kick if it's from the waist down.
Right. I am exceptionally truthful with myself. I will pitch anything that I can do. But if you pitch something that I know I can't do, I'm not being a jerk. I'm telling you, brother, I can't do that.
I mean, you really have to, though, because the performance, you know, Joey was touching on that earlier about being technically sound.
Yeah.
If you can't do something well, you should probably pull it out of the repertoire until you get good, or maybe you don't need it.
Yeah,
you know?
true. And it's so what's, because Joey and I have talked about this, like one of the reasons chain wrestling is so important and we never want it to get lost in training and the yard and in matches is because it's footwork, right? So to me,
exactly,
if a guy has bad chaining, he's got bad footwork, which means he's going to run the ropes bad. And that means that he's not going to.
I see enough of that on Monday nights. I mean, so did I say that out loud?
Right.
Yeah,
your word bubble broke again.
Right.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
It's a chain of command, but I'm just very like, I know that I am, if nothing else, maybe the only thing, exceptionally entertaining, right? But I also know that while that ceiling is limitless, my physical capabilities have a ceiling.
Yeah,
I don't believe that to be true.
Your trainer, you see your trainer's
potential.
got you.
Yeah, no, he's got too much potential in me.
Yeah,
the minute you start doing
some high
talking
hopes.
waist drop kicks, come on now.
Yeah,
man. I mean, listen, if you're sitting on your butt, I can hit your face. You know.
And if the ropes are tight, I'm going to go high risk again. I tell you that.
Are you going high risk? All right.
Oh,
cool.
we can see something high risk from Cheyenne.
If the ropes are tight.
Joey, I'll make sure Ooh La La's in on that one.
Oh no, I'm telling you now, if the ropes are tight, I'm gonna just straight Memphis first rope fish drop.
Oh, sweet. Yeah.
From the first rope, I'm gonna do the strap.
From the first rope.
Because you got to do the strap, right? So I'm
you got to do the Lawler, pull the strap down.
The strap here, and from the first rope, I'm gonna clobber Ooh La La with the.
No,
there you go.
No. Hold on, Cheyenne.
You got this. Tell me all your strategy.
Wait a minute, Cheyenne.
Yeah.
I want you to think about this for a minute.
He's pitching it on the air because he knows I would say no in a text.
It's the Super 8.
Right.
You have to go to the top rope and hit that fish drop.
You bastard.
You have to.
Yeah.
I'm expecting it. I paid my ticket.
It needs
Don't
to
disappoint.
happen. And I already have the spot in my mind.
You're live. You're on the air. You're live. We'll be streaming.
There's no backing out.
Tomorrow.
This is his way of holding me a cat. But you said on the show, right?
Cheyenne, we will talk about this later. But I already have it in my mind, and I'm not going to tell the world what's going to happen or how it's going to happen.
No, but
something will happen.
Doing it. That's great.
But at some point. So we got something to look forward to.
As a courtesy, you got to go in. You got to meet all the Super 8 competitors, and you got to say, "Listen, guys, very nice to have you. Welcome to the company, but nobody does a fist drop off the top rope tonight. That's me."
Yeah.
Right.
The first guy to do the fish drop of the figure 4 is out of the Super 8. You stole my whole act. It's going to be Montreal and Marlboro if somebody does a figure 4 that ain't me.
It's going to be Montreal. I can't wait for this.
No, we're going to get a fish drop off the top rope.
Not the top. Not the top.
There you go.
All the way to the top.
What am I, Rick Rude? I got to be 6'2" to do that safely.
There you go.
No.
You'll be fine.
I will show you.
Okay.
Yeah, he's going to.
You're in good hands.
That's the 5-star stud right there, man. He's going to show you how to come off the top rope like a pro.
If I do it on top rope, it's got to be 950 Phoenix Splash on Ooh La La.
I don't even know what a Phoenix Splash is.
That's how Mae Young beat him with the 950 Phoenix Splash. That's what he told me. Before she was a mom, so she was crazier.
So when he's talking about this, Joey, we're gonna be like, How's that go again? I don't know what that move is.
Yeah.
Oh no, it's gonna happen.
Good thing
Joey,
there's two other teams
Joey,
in there.
I wanna come on here because I heard you were here. I just finished the Pirates Pilates class that you're always making fun of me about.
Nice.
And, it's chest day, so Pilates, right?
There you go.
Tell the people how simpatico we are, contrary to belief, for the Super 8.
Throwing out big words there. Big words.
I just can't believe you did Pilates. That's great.
Yeah.
believe
Darius
you
Carter
did Pilates.
was giving me crap for it. Pilates. There's nothing wrong with that.
Did you do your hot yoga too? And
No, I'm not doing hot yoga. I'm doing DDP yoga like every other mark in the locker room.
Oh man!
Wait, you do yoga?
First of all, yoga's no joke. But
That's a shoot. I do DDP yoga twice a week.
Oh man! Now we're definitely gonna have to chain wrestle because I know he's gonna be loose, Joey.
Yeah,
Oh.
that's all I am.
He's gonna be flexible, you know.
That's all. Well, make that two things.
It's a good thing I know joint locks because it doesn't matter how flexible you are for
loose,
those, right?
Flexible. Anything after that, you got to find a dinner Mozart. Just saying.
Oh man.
It's already packed. It's already packed. I'm so worried about this.
Joey, tell him
Jeez.
how together, like when you plug the Game Boys, how we are.
He hasn't said it yet. I'm a little concerned that maybe you aren't like that. Like Hawk and Adam used to talk about their mohawks being able to plug into each other. I don't think that you're quite plugging into each other here.
If you get a double mohawk, I will get a mohawk. How's that? For accountability? How's that for accountability? If you get a
I
double
love
mohawk,
it.
I'll get a single.
Oh my God, this is gonna be unbelievable. Wow.
We're attaching to him.
Yeah.
He's my wrestling husband.
We peel each other's
I
onions.
can
That's
see
what we do.
that. What? Oh my God,
Oh,
this
He is
is
my
gonna
wrestling
this is
husband.
gonna be fantastic.
Oh gosh. Oh.
I've already got my strategy worked out. I'm gonna send Ulala to take care of Vin and JD Luscious. Backyarders. I got their number, and I'm just gonna chain wrestle with Cheyenne all night and avoid any top rope elbows from Joey.
Yeah,
Sounds like a plan.
My strategy basically is to get a dog whistle for Travis. Just get a dog whistle, get him right out of the gate. I'm gonna offer Vin like a case of protein bars.
A case of protein.
JD, I'm gonna offer him another retirement contract. He'll take that on the spot.
Oh man.
And then I'm just gonna chain with you.
Wait a minute.
So flabbergasted, Joey's gonna come in and roll up.
As our president, how is he back? He retired.
Well, the thing with JD is that he did retire. However, of course, I offered him the Super 8 opportunity last year. He had never done that before. Then, of course, we have to keep in mind the fact that the opportunity to perform at the ECW arena in the best match of the TWA reunion show was the ECWA showcase, which my tag team partner triumphantly won. Okay.
Yeah, we did. We gave him his props on that.
Now I'm gonna
deserved
put
that.
something on the table that some people, including my partner, might not like. LA Vin and I have a lot of professional respect for each other.
Mhm.
LA Vin, I knew at some point was going to be the world champion for ECWA. And he conquered so many obstacles to be there. Sadly, maybe perhaps at the expense of my partner, but I digress.
You know what he couldn't tackle? That table.
Yeah, he could not. That table literally just said,
Joey's laughing.
yeah. But what happened was he approached me straight up and he's like, listen, I need backup. I need help. I need somebody I can trust. As you saw, JD came to the rescue. And if you watch back, when we were approached by the Kingdom, you were there. LA Vin was there on my behalf, so therefore JD was there on his behalf. So it's a chain of command, if you will. So I thought it was only fair
Oh,
to
boy.
give Vin a fighting shot. And look, baby, as Dan Aykroyd said, I ain't scared of no ghost. Okay, bring it on.
Here we go with the fair.
Yeah,
Oh man.
There's no fair in wrestling, right? Yeah.
3 teams. It's gonna be ecstatic. It's gonna be great. 4 teams, tag titles, triple indies, chain wrestling. You gotta
Triple
be there.
Indies.
The Super 8. You gotta be there. Triple Indies. You gotta be there.
Exactly. I don't know who's doing the triple Indy, but you know.
You guys already called my stuff. I can't do a triple Indy.
It's gonna
Exactly.
be
He can't do a triple Indy
think-
and a top rope fist drop. He
Yeah,
can't.
I think we just called this whole match, didn't we, Joey?
Yeah.
You got it.
And then we're gonna get there that day, and nope, not doing any of it. Rocco's.
I'll be watching Super 8. I'll be watching Super 8. Well, I can't do that now. Well, there goes
Nope.
that. Oh my God, can't do
Oh
that now.
damn! Somebody did a clothesline. I'm just. What am I gonna do?
Yeah,
there's
exactly.
Here's my comeback.
You can ask Uala. I have one of the sweetest, tightest small packages in the world. You know. Wait a
That's
minute. Let me
very
back
personal
up.
matter, but I'll ask.
King Reggie would correct me. I do not have a small package. I
Okay.
have a really tight inside cradle. There you go.
wow.
There you go.
These are all personal questions, but I'm gonna ask. I'm
Exactly.
gonna ask. Joey, what color are you wearing at the Super 8 so we can match? You say it now, and I'm gonna buy it.
I'm a little torn.
If you pick a color, I'm gonna buy it right now.
That's awesome.
He's on
I'll-
Amazon as we speak. He's got it loaded up.
No, I gotta
let you-
go.
I'll
I
let you
gotta
know
go to High
after
Spots.
this.
It's gonna show up the morning of the show. Mozart will tell you what
Exactly.
color are you gonna wear. I'm gonna buy the gimmick right now.
I'll tell you after.
Okay, that's fine.
But anyway, guys, I gotta peace out.
Oh man, it was such
Joey, it's
a
been a
having
pleasure,
you on,
man. Thank you.
guys for having me.
Yeah, I
Thank you.
can't wait
It's been a blast.
to see you. I have to
No,
get you back,
it's
man.
the boss. I gotta go too. Guys, good night.
All right.
Thanks for having us.
Thank
Take
you,
care,
guys.
fellas.
Appreciate
Thank you
it.
so much. That was awesome. He said, "What color are you wearing?" I'm going to buy it right now. I love it. I love it.